Nothing is worse than a stagnant marriage or relationship. I've been married twice. My first marriage, it was a bit miserable. I would not want to be in a marriage where you're not madly in love with the other person. It's a horrible way to live. It's wasted years. I wish I would have left and listened to my senses so long ago, the minute I realized that it was a wrong decision. Especially if you know you're just not meant to be. But if you know you love each other and it's just become stagnant, then you just need to make sure you implement some changes to keep things exciting. So this video is going to be me sharing to you my top 4 things that I do to keep my marriage exciting. Nothing's worse than the thrill dying away. Now, obviously the honeymoon phase is typical and it dies away, but why should it? And I've always been against that. And the beauty of my marriage is, yeah, it takes work, but things are so exciting for both of us because we both try hard in our marriage. We don't get comfortable, and there are some top things that we do, we make sure we do for each other and for ourselves that will keep the excitement and the number one thing is always making sure you do something that the other enjoys, that you might not so much enjoy it yourself, but it means a lot to the other person. For example, my husband loves spending time with me, and before the kids, we would just go out in the garage, have a drink, and just enjoy each other's company and talk. The special thing about our relationship is we were friends before we were ever romantic. We were friends for years before we even looked at each other romantically. So that helps to want to hang out with each other because we do like hanging out with each other and we're friends first. So at the same time, even though we're in a relationship now, it's important to do what the other likes to do, even if you don't like to do it. I would rather cuddle up and read a book towards the end of my day, but because I know it means a lot to him for me to enjoy a drink with him and spend time with him in his man cave, I make sure to do that. So doing things that the other enjoys is very important, and definitely the number one thing that I could say plays a big part in keeping things exciting. The second is keeping things transparent. It's the key to good communication. You tell the truth, you communicate, you say sorry when you're wrong. That is so vitally important. In fact, that's the number one issue I run across with my fellow wives. That's their number one complaint, is the lack of communication. So it is so important to stay transparent with each other and always be communicating no matter what. Nothing's worse than you knowing something and then your significant other isn't aware of it until the last minute. That just makes for bitterness where you don't need it to be. So transparency and all that implies is very important. The third thing is you take care of yourself. If you don't know how to love yourself, how are you able to love another? How would you know how to love another if you didn't even know how to love yourself? You have to come first. So in a sense, you have to be selfish. Make sure you take care of yourself. And that is, for me, waking up first thing in the morning, hours before anyone else, having alone time, whatever that might imply. I share my morning routine here on my channel, so you can go check it out. But it consists of me time, working out, reading, Bible study, all that I personally need to be able to take care of myself and feel good. I caught on a little bit too late in life that's literally very important, not just for your marriage or your relationships or friendships, but for yourself. So put yourself first, take care of yourself, feel confident, love yourself, and then that will in turn strengthen all of your relationships. One key phrase for the last tip: do unto others. Yes, it's in the Bible, but it is actually very powerful. Treat each other the way you want to be treated. So if you're a bitch to your husband, then technically, if he's a bitch to you, that's all fair game, right? But it's funny because women don't like to put up with that from their man, but yet they'll be a bitch to them frequently. But yet the minute they turn it on them, it's abuse. It's narcissism. It's just not fair. If you're going to treat each other that way, it's fair game, and there's no room for resentment. But honestly, there's always going to cause resentment if you do that. If you talk down to them, belittle them, nag them, they're going to really hate that. They're going to start holding resentment against you without you even recognizing it until sometimes it's too late. So it's really important to treat each other the way you want to be treated. That's very important. That would have been number 1, but it's definitely my top 4 tips. Do unto others as you would like them to do to you. It's huge. Again, not just for relationships, but for friendships as well. So hopefully these tips help. If you implement them into your life and your relationships, you will notice a positive change. But it might take time. So don't give up if you don't notice change in the first week. But implement them and give it a month, and you will, I promise you, notice a positive change in your relationship.